We're up to the third question for this part of the syllabus. We're going to look at this question number 3, which is how did women's and men's sport participation differ and what were the reasons for that? It's pretty obvious that the one main syllabus point that you're going to be talking about in answering this question is the women's historical participation in sport. Now, sport in the 19th century was almost solely a male domain, and what I mean by that, it was pretty much males who played sport and who were the organisers of sport. Women were expected to be the spectators rather than participants in sport, as they were considered not to have the qualities that sport provided. It was not this idea of muscular Christianity was not something that the society wanted for women, and therefore they were excluded from sport. Now, society expected the females of the time to just completely act in a ladylike manner at all times, and again, sport was thought not to produce this quality of being a lady. Now, the medical profession was also pretty influential at this time in stopping women from playing sport. That they were saying at the time that if you participated in physical activity, it would greatly affect your chances of having a baby. Much the same way today as the medical profession is quite strong on issues such as, say, smoking and alcohol in the way that it would affect a pregnancy. Back in the 19th century, the big topic was physical activity that would damage a woman's chances of having a healthy baby. So I've had two reasons so far. It was the idea of being just being ladylike all the time, stop women from participating in sport. We had the medical advice as well of the time, but also clothing was a major issue that prevented women from participating in sport with any great effect. If you could have a look in this photo here of the type of clothing that women were expected to wear at all times, that just pretty much ruled them out of playing any sort of competitive sport at all. These long dresses prevented any type of movement at all, and just made playing sport too difficult. Now, changes late in the 19th century and early into the 20th century, changes in society led to changes in sport. Women were getting more freedom in what they were allowed to do in society, and this crossed over into the sporting arena as well. Swimming became a really popular leisure activity for women to do. And this example that Year 12 students' name will never forget, Fanny Jurek and Mina Wiley, were Australia's first medal winners at the Olympics, and they became hugely popular in Australia and became very influential role models in making more females participate in sport. At the same point in time, competitive sport became more popular for women, and a couple of the two big popular sports became hockey and netball. As we progressed through the 20th century, it became more popular for women to play a wider range of sports, including sports that were previously considered just to be the domain of men. So sports such as hockey and soccer or /football, for example, became increasingly more popular with our females. So as a bit of a summary, this table will make it a little bit clearer. How it differed for men and women in the 19th century. Women were considered to be the spectators while the men were the participants. Women played very little competitive sport. While for men, competitive sport was seen as a positive thing. It helped develop this idea of character, muscular Christianity. Women were forced to wear very restrictive clothing when they played sport, while men did not have the same restrictions put on them. Women were limited to be played certain sports that were considered you could still be ladylike, such as tennis, while men were free to play any type of sport that they wished. It's easy to see that there has been huge changes for females when it comes to sport. There's been great progress that has been made from those terrible times of the 19th century, but there is still some serious gender issues today. This idea of sexploitation, meaning that for women to gain I guess sponsorship and to be noticed in sport, they are often forced to wear some clothing which probably shows a lot of flesh. They do those type of calendars where they take their clothes off to promote their sport. And this is because it's one of the ways that they feel they have to do to get media attention, which then leads to greater income. There are still some sports today that are still considered socially unacceptable to be participated in by women, and one of these is boxing. Now, there's a great debate today whether boxing is suitable for females, but it's just recently at the last Olympics come in as a sport at the Olympics. Females participated in sport, and interestingly enough, at the Olympics, female boxing was very popular and had some really good attendance figures. So this idea of women still not being acceptable to play certain sports is still prevalent in today's society. In fact, and even in some contact sports such as rugby league, rugby and AFL, women are playing those sports, but still not in large numbers, and that is because it still hasn't gained total acceptance in society today.